Hello and welcome to The Reasons I'm Broke, bringing you the reasons we're broke every week, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly. And this week is brought to you by MetroCon. It's a convention in Tampa. It has anime and all the nerd things that we love, some great guests. The dates are July 11th through the 13th, and you can get your tickets at metroconventions.com.
Yes, and we are also a proud member of nerdupmedia.com. Go ahead and head on over to nerdupmedia.com and check out some of the other great shows on there, including The Read Pile, Bacon in the Oven, Those Two Jerks, The Lazy Gaming Guys. Great shows, also a part of the network, also sponsored by Metro Conventions.
One of the guests MetroCon will have this year is Nolan North, who is known for his voice work as Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
Yeah, there's an upcoming Uncharted game that got announced at E3. Nolan North does a ton of video game acting. He's all over the place, but the big one for him that is coming up next year is the Uncharted 4 game. And he will be at MetroCon, so you can go ahead and get one of the many games he's voiced, including the Uncharted series. Not sure what he's charging yet, but it is one of the exclusive guests to MetroCon. It's very rare that you see Nolan North come to Central Florida. He was not at MegaCon last year, but he is here at MetroCon along with Dante Basco.
Oh yes, I cannot wait to see him. And that will actually lead us to our question of the week. Which guest are you most excited to see at MetroCon?
You can answer on Facebook, but you must like us on Facebook, facebook.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke. Let us know which of the guests you're most excited to see at MetroCon.
You can also answer through Twitter, but you must follow us. Just search at Reasons I'm Broke and let us know.
We will pick 2 random winners to get free passes to MetroCon. Again, it's going to be July 11th through the 13th. So if you answer on Facebook or Twitter, which guest are you most excited to see at MetroCon? And then we will pick 2 winners from there. Free tickets, come on.
How can you say no? It's worth the drive just to get in for free and see some of these amazing guests that they have.
To see a full guest list, go ahead and head on over to metroconventions.com. This is in Tampa, July 11th through the 13th.
And for all you new listeners out there, the way we format our show is first we start out with some news, and then we follow up with our comic book pull list of the week. Mostly DC because, come on, Batman's a badass. Mm-hmm. Really.
So we'll kick it off with some video game news. The PlayStation Now beta went up. This is the beta that we have talked about. We compared it to Netflix and Hulu. I think the other big one is GameFly right now.
Yes.
But PlayStation Now is the streaming service, and the prices have gone up with the beta. So the full-on beta, yeah, it's pretty bad. Full-on beta will go up on July 31st for everyone else, but select users are actually playing with it right now, and we pulled up 2 examples of the pricing that they have going.
They're out of their minds. First off, we have Final Fantasy 13-2. For 4 hours, it's $4.99. For 7 days, $7.99. 30 days, $14.99. And 90 days, $29.99. Out of your minds.
Not a good reason to be broke.
Absolutely not. Find it on eBay. Find it used at GameStop. You're going to get more money, more of your money's worth out of just buying the game.
People are saying that 7-day rental you can buy for that $7.99, you can probably buy it used, if not for less, and play it forever instead of just the 7 days. Another example we pulled up, it's a downloadable title called Guacamelee. It won a ton of awards. This one for 4 hours, it's $3. 7 days is $6. To play this for 30 days, it's $8, and for 90 days is $15, which is the price of the game.
Ridiculous.
So I'm hoping that this beta goes to show that, okay, you guys are doing a little much about these prices here. Bring them down, and if not, come out with a full-on, here's a 1-year price. You can stream all the games that you want for that price, but make it reasonable.
I wouldn't even be upset with like a monthly price. I think they could get away with like $30 a month. Mm-hmm. They could get, because what does it cost them to stream these games?
A lot of servers, but not so much that what they're charging right now.
Exactly. I think you could charge people $30 a month, unlimited, or maybe even $30 a month, you get 4 games. Mm-hmm. That's still a great price.
Right.
It's right there. It's worth it.
I'm thinking Neil Adams is in charge of this PlayStation Now beta thing, the pricing. They're not being very reasonable.
They are not.
So here's some movie news that we're going to jump into. We got 3 movies we're going to cover here this week. This first one is the fifth Pirates of the Caribbean film, will begin filming in 2015. It is titled Dead Men Tell No Tales. So you're laughing about this one. This was your favorite film series.
Yes, I love Pirates. I will probably always love Pirates of the Caribbean. I have a soft spot for pirates. Mm-hmm. I wish I were a pirate sometimes, except with like good teeth.
So rape and pillage and smell bad? I don't understand what's so appealing about being a pirate.
Apparently you never saw Pirates of the Caribbean because they look nothing like that.
The real pirates are the ones in that movie with Tom Hanks.
I don't even know Toy Story.
The ones running with the boats and the guns.
Forrest Gump?
It's not like these...
Those aren't pirates. I don't know what you're talking about.
To you, they have to have a feather and a parrot and a hook.
Yes, and a
one
monkey.
Leg. And a monkey. When did monkey... That's so weird.
Jack the Monkey, he was in all those movies. Anyway, so the only confirmed actor to return that they have is Johnny Depp. I think this is because Johnny Depp is paying for this movie himself. Because he's like, I was at my peak with Jack Sparrow. Let's try this again.
Who's the director for the first one?
Oh...
Buckheimer?
Yes.
He's still the producer for these movies.
Yes.
The thing that people are saying about Johnny Depp returning is the last film he did was the...
Lone Ranger?
The Lone Ranger. And that one was a bomb.
Yes.
So he's like, I need to make money again. So Pirates. Also the last one too, I think it was a Warner Brothers movie where he was uploaded into the computer.
Yes.
And that one ended up bombing too.
Oh, poor Johnny Depp. He needs to go back to darker things.
So Pirates of the Caribbean, right back to it.
I guess. Am I gonna see it? Yeah. Am I gonna like it? Probably. It's a good idea. No.
I'll enjoy it if Jeffrey Rush returns as Captain Barbossa. That's when I'll enjoy this, because he was my favorite part of the first one. Mm-hmm. He was the best part of the second one, even though he's at the very end of it. The third one. And the fourth one, even. He's the best part.
I thought the mermaids were pretty cool in the fourth one. That was the only thing I liked about the fourth one.
But that shitty love story?
There was too much magic in the fourth one. Moving on from one of my favorite movies to one of my favorite directors. This was a good week for me. Guillermo del Toro put out a special message about Pacific Rim 2, which was a pretty cool movie.
That was a great movie.
It was written by two 15-year-old boys who were like, let's shoot rockets out of his elbows.
And then she's going to bring out the mecha sword.
Yeah.
Which she should have used at the beginning of the fight, but she didn't for whatever reason, for dramatic effect, because it's a movie. So Guillermo will be returning as director. The release date has been set, April 7th, 2017.
They probably don't even have a script yet. They're like, let's just bring it out on this day.
So it sounds like they've been financed and everything, ready to go. They're writing the script now.
Well, didn't the first one make a lot of money? It should have made a lot of money.
Yeah, it did.
It was
really
pretty cool.
And he's also going to be doing a prequel comic book for it.
Awesome.
I have people at the comic book shop I work at ask all the time for Pacific Rim figures. So it sounds like they're going to really push out the merchandise for this second movie. It starts with a comic, then they bring out the figurines, all leading up to the movie. And I think Pacific Rim 2 will be more successful than the first one even.
Probably. It probably has a bigger budget, so they'll have like more rocket knees, probably.
I remember that, the rocket knees.
No, it was a rocket elbow.
Oh, right.
Because he was going to punch him, but he had to light the rocket in his elbow to punch him even harder. But they'll think of more cool rocket things.
Right.
Rocket Achilles heels. I don't know.
So we'll be watching that. Good news for us.
Yep.
Probably won't pick up the comic book. Usually those prequel comics aren't that amazing. Although the Godzilla prequel book did sell out at our shop, and then we ended up ordering more, and those sold out too. I gotta read it. I still haven't read it.
Godzilla's a badass. I kind of fell in love with him in that movie.
It's a fun movie, yeah.
Just, soft spot in my heart for Godzilla.
This next trailer you don't have a soft spot for.
Oh, no.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer released. It's like a full trailer, much longer than the last one. I think it releases August 8th. So, initial thoughts.
I'm crying. Just let me cry. They ruined it. They ruined it all.
Keep in mind, this could have been much worse. This could have been the Aliens thing that they were initially pushing.
You know what? If they made it Aliens, then I could have dismissed it, and it's not even remotely Ninja Turtles. But this way, they're like, yeah, they're Ninja Turtles, but they're not teenagers, and they're weird, and it's like they're keeping the basics but stripping everything else away. At least if they were aliens, I could be like, this is an alien movie, not a TMNT movie. but they destroyed it.
So here's the breakdown for the trailer. If you haven't seen it yet, head on over to YouTube and just type in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Trailer 2. It
Don't
should
see
pop up. You disliked it way more than I did. I'm not saying I liked it either, but I'm going to say some good things about it.
Okay, fine.
So to start off with the good things, I thought it was written well with the characters. Like those lines do sound like they're coming out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon or the comic book. The voices aren't the best.
Nope.
But the comedy is there. Like, he's using his Batman voice. That's kind of funny.
Oh,
or the thing with
only
the mask even.
Batman.
No, in the first trailer, too, where he's like, no, they're masks. And he takes off his thing.
That's
That was
because
funny,
Mikey's
too.
the best.
So Michelangelo is spot on. Even the voice for Mikey, I think, is fine. It's not Beast Boy.
Whatever, next.
So the next good thing about it, I think that's... I think that's it. And I hate to be that person that just hates on it, but then
I will hate on it.
It's written somewhat well.
I will use...
The lines, at least. All right, so go ahead.
I'll use my ginger privileges and just hate on it. It fucking sucked. It was so bad. I don't know who wrote this and thought that a robotic shredder would be a good idea. Let's upgrade your suit. Like, no. Just
RoboShredder.
No. The turtles look horrible.
Yeah, they do still look pretty bad.
They looked really bad. The music they used for the trailer was not good.
It's just the trailer, though. Like, I don't know what they're going to do for the music and the actual thing.
If you can't nail a trailer...
Well, they nailed the trailer to Man of Steel, and I didn't really I didn't love it.
I liked it, though.
So, the robotic shredder, people are really upset about it.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's not the shredder as like this ninja guy. It's this technological suit.
Shooting off his
knives,
ninja swords, and then they come back with their rockets. I don't even know.
It's really silly. Now I don't have so much a problem with like it is a robotic suit, because if originally it had started out as that, and then they switched it over to just a guy in a metal suit, we'd be complaining about it not being like the original. That doesn't get me as much as the way they used it. And that goes back to the shooting the blades and them coming back. It's not cool. Like, it's just a toy commercial. That's what that's for.
He's trying to make Transformers.
It's a Transformers Shredder suit thing.
Yes. No. I don't agree.
I wasn't crazy about it either. No. And then the look of the turtles, like we said before, give us those suits from the TMNT
Way
movie.
Cooler.
They look much better. And then it's too late to change the faces. Like, that's done. Like, the movie comes out August 8th. They'd have to do all kinds of crazy rendering to fix the noses. You said that they should have done, like, the beaks, right?
Yes. I think that's why. Make them look like turtles. We're trying to make them look like people. And the turtles weren't people that got turned into turtles. The turtles were turtles that can now talk. They're still turtles. Make them look like turtles. They got a shell. Does that make them turtles?
And did you notice at the very end of the trailer they put in that joke about, like, are they aliens? No, that's stupid.
Did they really? I didn't.
Yeah,
I was crying at that point. Like, just the misery overcame me. I'm still really mad about who they chose for April.
Yeah, that's not good. Not a good choice.
She's not
Megan Fox.
Not a ginger. She's supposed to be a ginger. They stuck her in the yellow rain jacket. No, just pretend she's not there, please.
To me, it's more that she's not a very good actress.
Yeah,
like, if they want to
too.
change her hair color, that's fine. They're doing that with Aquaman probably with the new Justice League movie. But give me a good actress, and it's not there. And I understand it's Michael Bay, and that's his connection, and he's just doing favors here. I don't know. It's looking really rough. It's looking rough.
People I've talked to about it, nobody wants to see it, and that's bad. If nobody wants to see and you could have had such a winner with TMNT. So many people like it. You have the great stories and the comics now. Pull from one of those, but no.
I'm gonna still see it, and who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe I'll really enjoy it and just not like the special effects and Megan Fox. But my hopes are not high.
Special effects and Megan Fox.
The two things I don't like, yeah.
I will probably just be crying through the whole thing. It'll end and you'll see me under the seat, like, fetal position, sucking my thumb.
Streaming the TMNT cartoon while reading on Comixology, a digital version of the comic on another device.
At the same time. Like, I love you, Beast Boy. You're the real Mikey.
So with that, we can move on to some comic book news.
Yeah, this is some great news, actually. DC Comics has revealed some major changes to how colorists are compensated. They will initiate changes starting next month and will pay colorists based on net revenue of sales. This will include both digital and physical sales.
That's something that people have been wondering for quite some time now, if they're not giving colorists enough credit or enough pay. The coloring to a book, just like the pencils, just like the inks, can make or break the book. Every one of those pieces has to be spot on for the book to be amazing, and if one of those are weaker than the others, then you got to hope that the writing is strong enough to pull the book through. You have seen some artwork being ruined by bad inkers or the penciling being terrible but the colors being great. So I think colorists like FCO on Batman, you look at that book and you're like, holy shit, not only is Greg Capullo amazing, but these colors. Like, when do you see a book just like this? And when we talk about Zero Year in a little bit, I'll pull up some panels and you guys can kind of, if you bought the Batman book, you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All talent in the United States, so people that are working here, will have direct deposit made available as opposed to just a check payment.
That's great. That gets them their money so much faster. In summary, colorists will receive cover credit and are now eligible for royalties.
So you're going to start seeing those names on the covers as well. And because of that, we're going to do our best to also mention the colorists when we do our comic book reviews. Here are some of the reactions from industry workers, actually.
Ron Mars, writer of Adventures of Superman, said, "The devil is in the details always, and everyone will have to see what the specific numbers look like. But overall, this is a positive step and an inevitable step in the industry evolves."
Yeah, he was pretty optimistic about everything. Like you mentioned, you always got to see what the contract looks like and really study it. Could be that, the royalties aren't quite as big, but as you mentioned, we are going in the right direction with it. Dan Jurgens, who is a Future's End writer, he said, "I think it's great that the colorists are included and that digital and print will be rolled into one concept."
Absolutely, because digital is becoming so big now that you want to make sure that they get credit for that also.
Yeah.
Paul Mounts, a Harley Quinn colorist, said, "I think it's great that DC is finally catching up to a move that Marvel made, about 12 years ago? When you look at the sales of Harley Quinn, especially as they go into third or fourth printings, yeah, the royalties would have been nice."
I liked his. His was the most, butthurt one out of all of them. And he's right, though. He is right.
Yeah. He's like, "I did all this work and shit, man. Didn't get anything
Scratch that. The most Neil Adams-y comment out of all of these was Paul Mounts.
Good for him.
But, going forward, as they continue to do multiple printings for Harley Quinn, which they will and they should, he'll get multiple royalties from all of the reprintings and everything. The last one is actually from a Marvel writer, Dan Slott, as you know from Amazing Spider-Man and Superior Spider-Man. He says, "I think this is one everyone can agree on. Good move, DC Comics."
Good. I'm glad he's still supporting DC. Even though he's like, let's talk about this and not Batman. Speaking of Batman.
Yes, this made me so happy. When I saw this video, I was just kicking my feet and laughing. I was at work and doing this. I was so
He texted
happy.
me right away, and I knew that it would happen. I called it. Didn't I call this?
I don't remember.
My calling streak has begun. Our favorite Batman, Kevin Conroy,
The only Batman,
has leaked the release date of Arkham Knight as January 2015.
So this is the man. Okay, so what's he leaked so far? Two things. He leaked the Arkham Knight game.
Yes.
Like a year and a half ago when he was at a convention. They had just announced Arkham Origins, and he thought it was Arkham Knight, which he had worked on. So he's like, "I'm returning for the new Batman game. I guess I can talk about it now because it's been revealed." Him not knowing it's Arkham Origins, he didn't even know there was an Arkham Origins at all. He thought it was just his games. And then when he got on Twitter, he's like, "No, it's not Arkham Origins. It's the next Arkham game." So he still didn't catch on that you're not supposed to talk about that game that's 2 years out. And eventually, all those tweets got deleted. You can still find them on Google though as screen caps. Really funny.
And then forever later, after they deleted all his tweets, he came back and he's like, "Oh, well, now I can talk about it. So this is the game." Started to talk about it. So I'm like, "You already told us, Conroy. We already know." And now this.
I saw the video to it. He was getting interviewed at a convention, And it might have been E3, actually. It was at E3, like the last day of E3, just like a small like comic book blog, I think it was. And they were asking him about it, and they didn't even say, like, when's the release date. They just asked him to talk about the new Arkham Knight trailer and everything, and he's like, and it's still not finished. Well, I can't, I gotta do the Batman voice, or try. He's like, and it's still not finished. We're still doing work on it. And it was supposed to come out this year, but it's coming out in January. And I'm like, God damn it. He just fucking leaked it again.
Okay. 2 questions. Number 1, why are you still telling this man things? Number 2, why haven't you told him everything?
I'm hoping that's a fake date that you're just like, hey, yeah, Kevin, it's January. And it's really not, because then they can be like, no, it's not January. It's actually going to be, you know, October next year or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he's just like, yeah, it's January.
I think the fact that he's leaking these things is brilliant.
Why?
Brilliant. Because people are going crazy talking about it. Because they're like, oh, it's leaking. Oh, there's going to be a new game. And then he's like, nope, just kidding. Took it down. And they're like, oh, he took it down, but there's really going to be a new game. And then they're like, oh, yep, there's going to be a new game. And people are still talking about it. Brilliant. They have a PR person who is so smart. I would have done the same thing. I'm like, Kevin, go tell him about something. Not even. I wouldn't tell him to tell him about something. I just tell him something and he would leak it. So
does he get fined every time he does this?
Probably not, because he's Conroy.
He doesn't play the games, like, but it is also his job. Mm-hmm. He should be a little bit. That,
but how does this hurt them, really?
It did hurt them when he announced Arkham Knight ahead of time, like before Origins came out. Mm-hmm. It's like you're risking some sales on Origins right now, because most people like me were like, yeah, well, I'm still going to get them both, but Arkham Knight's the one I'm going to really wait for.
Right.
And that's the one we're going to get on next gen systems, PS4. So Kevin Conroy always leaking the stuff. Our best source to anything Batman.
He's just pretending to be senile old man. He knew that it was that other game they didn't ask him to voice, and he's like, I'm gonna leak my fucking game. Show people who the real Batman is.
Yep, you shouldn't get anyone else other than Conroy. Hope he leaks that Mark Hamill's in it somehow or something.
That'd be great. Like, yeah, me and Mark. Were just, after recording, we went to the wow!
So it was for flashbacks, right? No, Joker's back in this one.
he could say something, okay. He could say something like, I don't know, after recording, me and Mark went and, like, beat up some guy or something. We would be like, Joker's in the game? Wouldn't even care what they did after that.
So before we move into some comic book news, we're going to give some answers to last week's question of the week, which was, which Green Lantern is your Green Lantern and why? So if you remember, you said most people would say Hal Jordan. Mm-hmm. I said that most people would say John Stewart. Mm-hmm. So we do have 3 responses here. The first one is from Tumblr, user AKTiviz. So it's T-I-V-I-Z-Z. Quote, John Stewart, like without hesitation. He is noble, strong, level-headed, and he is an awesome black role model. He is also the most interesting of the bunch, with Guy Gardner coming in a close second. I wish DC would stop being scared and make him the main Green Lantern in the movies and books.
Someone has a crush.
I agree with this guy.
I agree too. John Stewart is my favorite Green Lantern ever.
A great black role model as well.
Absolutely. I love the way he builds his constructs. I think it's so smart. It's not just it's here. Like, there's actually a reason he, builds it and all this kind of crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. I love that he's an actual soldier. He wasn't just given these... I mean, he was just given the powers, but he actually knows how to use them and how to fight without them. I think it makes for some amazing stories, amazing potential, but everyone's stuck on Hal.
I think that's... if you remember Simon Baz, he kind of takes a little bit from every Lantern. Like, he does have that bit of John Stewart. He has a bit of Sinestro. He has a bit of Hal Jordan. So that kind of reminded me of that, because he also knows how to use weapons and always keeps one just in case his ring fails.
Because he was a terrorist.
He was not. That was the whole point of the story. So John Stewart, one for me.
Okay.
And this one's... the next 2 are from Twitter.
At Dark Knight Drew, all Hal, all day, better story. One for me.
It is a better story, because Sinestro's involved. All right, so the next one is... so one for me and one for you.
Okay. Go ahead and read this next one.
At JJordan584. My GL is Hal Jordan because of Jeff Johns and his amazing writing of the characters. and we share a last name, #MyGreenLantern.
I think that's 2 for me, sir.
Yeah, 2 for you and 1 for me.
So who won?
You did.
Yep.
You did win this one.
I won the bet, and I think the listeners were going to decide the stakes in this bet.
Yep.
Hopefully it's you doing the laundry.
So, at the end of the day, yeah, Jon Stewart, I think, should be in the movie as the main Green Lantern.
I agree.
You agree as well? But it looks like for the most of the listeners are the ones that responded. Their Green Lantern is Hal Jordan.
Told you.
Who's your Green Lantern, you said? Jon Stewart?
Jon Stewart.
Mine's Sinestro. No one else responded with Sinestro.
Because I see Sinestro as a Yellow Lantern.
He's the greatest Green Lantern.
I know, but... So anyway, thank you guys so much for responding. Let us know what I win out of this bet, and Dan has to follow it.
And don't forget, the question of this week is, which guest are you most excited to see at MetroCon? Again, 2 random winners will be picked for free passes July 11th through the 13th. That's Tampa's Metro Convention.
And now we can move into our comics, which I am super excited for because we got some great ones this week.
We did.
We got some great ones last week, too. Did you share your pick of the week on Twitter?
I did not.
Because
no.
I totes want to share my pick of the week last week.
Okay, go ahead. What was your pick of the week last week?
Can you guess it?
It was Silver Surfer.
Yes, it was. That was an amazing book. They are developing the love story between Silver Surfer and Dawn, and I think they're perfect for each other, and they're going to travel the galaxy, and they have endless possibilities.
That was a really, really good issue. For me, it would be between Silver Surfer and Batman and Ra's al Ghul. I didn't really narrow it down to one, but those were both really good issues. The Silver Surfer one, it ended that arc, so you can start at the next one. For the comic books that we're about to review, we're going to try to avoid spoilers as much as possible and give you just a general summary of the book. We're going to start off with our indie books. It's going to start with Anne Bonny, writing and art by Tim Yates.
I'm really liking where this is going, not just because it's me as a pirate. Thank you.
It is you as a pirate.
Well, I mean, it is me as a pirate, but that's not the only reason that I like it. I am not living vicariously through this book in the life that I've always wanted. We get some new characters. We get to see more of a fantasy element, which I'm really liking. If you had told me pirates and fantasy, I probably would have said, well, that's weird. But I think he's doing a good job of incorporating both of those. Wish she would have been with a badass. That's all I could say.
Yeah, the love interest is a little bit weaker. But hopefully he'll develop as we continue forward.
Maybe they'll just be BFFs.
Maybe.
I'm cool with that. They
She'll
can be
find someone
BFFs. She could be with like a cloaked, hooded man. I don't know. Awesome.
Yeah, but the book comes from Blue Juice Comics. We know a lot of the crew over there. We always meet up with them at MegaCon every year. And this one is actually coming out, the next one's coming out in October, so it's not a monthly book. But I felt like it picked up pretty well from the last one. Mm-hmm. Like everything wrapped up in this one, we introduced our first villain for the arc, and like you said, a possible love interest. So I enjoyed it. Not my pick of the week, but it was good.
Yep, agreed. Next is Bravest Warriors, number 21. This is written by Kate Leth, art by Ian McGinty, and colorist is Lisa Moore.
After number 20, that was the prequel to the final season, or the season 2 premiere, I guess, or it was kind of a finale for the YouTube show.
And yes.
If you don't know, Bravest Warriors is a show on YouTube. Definitely check them out. If you enjoy Adventure Time, but with a little bit more plot, definitely check out Bravest Warriors. Also not for kids.
First video you should watch is Drama Bug.
That is awesome.
Just watch it.
Love Drama Bug.
We used to watch it like 3 times a day. What happened?
We'll watch it tonight.
Okay.
So this does begin a brand new arc. Focuses a lot on Catbug, which I really enjoyed.
Yes.
And also on...
RoboFinn? It's not RoboFinn.
RoboFinn is fucking creepy.
Chris. Chris
Creepiest
too?
fucking character I've seen in comics
amazing.
in a long time.
I love him so much.
And then the backup story has a focus on Impossibear.
Mm-hmm.
And my 2 favorite characters are Impossibear and Catbug. So this comic was definitely a win for me.
Yep. I really enjoyed it as well. Catbug moments are so funny. Where he's like, I don't know! And he hides... Anyway, sorry. Catbug is really funny. Impossibear is really funny. Great character interaction all the time with all these characters. So it was a lot of fun for me also.
Next is Cartoon Network's Super Secret Crisis War #1. Written by Louise Simonson with art and colors as well by Derek Charm.
This is kind of a mashup. You got Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, Ed, Edd n Eddy, and Ben 10. I think I would have liked this more if I actually saw Ben 10.
Right.
Never even seen an episode.
Me
He
neither.
seemed kind of out of place for me because I'm like, all that shit's from the 90s, and then Ben 10's like from the 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, Ben 10 is a pretty big property for Cartoon Network, so I can see why they included him in here to try to attract some of the younger readers.
Right.
Because, I mean, how many of the kids today know who Ed, Ed, and Eddie really is?
They don't need to know about them, but they need to know about the rest of those guys.
Samurai Jack especially.
Yes.
You can check out Samurai Jack on Netflix if you haven't seen it. It is a pretty good show. And this one does combine all of these properties together. They don't all have their own comic series. Some of them did at one point. The main ones, the big hitters, are the Powerpuff Girls and Samurai Jack, of course. But to accompany this crossover, they're also doing some one-shots. So the next one is going to be Johnny Bravo.
Oh, man, I kind of really want that. Because he was great with his hoo-ha-hoo and his hair.
Another one-shot is from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
I watched a little bit.
Another newer show. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Man, that's got some crazy psychology behind it. It's crazy.
Never seen that. Also, Cow and Chicken. I remember that.
I like
that was kind of
that
fucked
show
up.
too.
And finally, The Kids Next Door.
Man, they have the best episode where they turned into Dragon Ball Z characters and he ripped off his own shirt when he went Super Saiyan. It's great. So, yeah, I think that's really cool. Are we going to pick them all up? Probably not.
Oh, no, not the one-shots. No, I think I'm only going to pick up Bravest Warriors, if anything. But we are going to continue to pick up the crossover, the Crisis War between all of these characters. I thought it was a good story so far. It's all set up for the villains. It shows you how they all kind of got together in this dimension and what their plan is.
Next, we have Saga number 20, written by Brian K. Vaughan, with art by Fiona Staples. Fine, Dan, you can say it.
It's Kelly's Pick of the Week.
Yes, it is. Was there any doubt? This is always my pick of the week.
Every single time. It's your book of the year, I'm sure. Book of 2014.
Probably.
And 2015.
Probably. It's such a good story, and the characters, I love them all, and I want to see what's going to happen next, and there's love, and there's drama, and there's action, and there's so many things.
It looks like Hush on the cover.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm like, what's Hush doing in Saga? This is his new 52 debut?
He's babysitting.
That's where he's been this whole time. So this one, they start to lay the seeds down for the separation between the two main characters that we've been following. And the little baby that has been narrating the whole time. She's kind of crappy. Always crying. And
She's a baby. That's what babies do.
I guess so.
But
did this one make you sad with everything that was happening, with who the main guy was introduced to? And
yes. Yes and yes. I was sad with it all. But, they need to be happy too. And if they're not happy, then they need to find happiness. Robot Prince Computer Face? Fucking pervert.
He is.
Like, we knew that from the beginning, but for reals, pervert. But I just like that we got reintroduced to some characters that we hadn't seen since, like, the first arc.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the conflict is really good in the Saga issue. And it just continues to build up with this. Really good issue. Not my pick of the week,
What's that?
but it was
Your
awesome.
pick of the week?
Nope, not my pick of the week.
Because it's a great comic, and it should be everyone's pick of the week.
It's a great book.
Dan's pick of the week, too.
It's my pick of the week of the indie books.
Kelly and Dan both picked Saga number 20 for their pick of the weeks. Both of us.
Now we can move on to some DC Comics. This will have our Superman Loves Batman moment this week. It's Adventures of Superman number 14, written by Max Landis and Fabian Nicieza, with art by Jock and Phil Hester, colors by Lee Luffridge and Nick Filardi. So there are two stories in this book.
Both stories are Superman fan fiction written by Superman.
The first story has the Joker interacting with Superman.
This had some amazing moments.
It did.
I think the Joker was written really, really well in this. I loved, and I'm going to spoil it, guys. Like, not plot, but some of the art. There's this monologue that the Joker goes into where he's talking about this and that, this other thing. And you have, what was it, like six different panels?
Right.
And in each panel, part of his face, it focuses on, his face, and it changes into the different Jokers that we've had throughout
the last
forever.
75 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Like, you guys know I'm not big on art, but this was awesome for me. Because I'm like, he's all of them. Like, the Joker doesn't change no matter what form he's in.
Exactly. The most symbolic and the strongest Jokers that we've ever had, including, Mark Hamill, Jack Nicholson, and Romano, they're all on here. And it's pretty phenomenal when you actually see it. Because even the dialogue fits into the face of each Joker. And it's great. But the whole point of the story is it's to see how Joker would go up against Superman and how Superman would deal with someone like the Joker. Joker tells these jokes, Batman doesn't laugh, but how does Superman react? Superman is a Boy Scout, he's the complete opposite. But at the very end of this, I think we do have our Superman Loves Batman moment of the week again.
Yes.
So we can play the theme song.
So our Superman Loves Batman moment comes in the form of, after Joker's been dealt with, Superman bursts into the Batcave and gives Batman the what's what.
He does. He was so upset. Like, to spoil the ending a little bit, Batman, I guess, allowed the Joker to come into Metropolis just to see how Superman would react to the Joker. So that's kind of a weird concept because I feel like, and we both felt this way, Batman would not take that chance. He would not risk lives, especially with someone as unpredictable as Joker around Superman. Especially with Superman, like Superman could have been tricked or whatever into, maybe even killing some of these Metropolis citizens. And he did take that risk, and Superman was upset about that. Rightfully so, I think.
Well, and again, this is Superman's fan fiction. That's the only way he could think that the Joker, could get into his city, so he could have that awesome dialogue with him. And then he's like, and then I'm gonna go be a man and show Batman that I'm a man. But I agree, I don't think, because Batman knows the Joker's, unstable and unpredictable, but he also knows that Superman's proven to be that way a lot of the time, too. He gets taken over pretty easily. He's got that, kryptonite thing going on. This is very out of character for Batman. I think it's a little out of character for Superman, too, because Superman would never burst in and be like, my city. He wouldn't ever do that. He'd be like, I wish you were there to help me.
The backup story to the Adventures of Superman issue was Superman being a babysitter.
He only agreed because he's like, well, when Batman and I have kids, I guess I'll have to know how to take care of them.
That was the only reason. I didn't like this one as much. I liked the first issue, or the first story, way more.
I agree. The things they did with the kids, I thought was unrealistic.
Yeah.
They'd be crying because that's what kids do.
I could see this story being like a cartoon series and Superman the Animated Series, but not so much in a comic.
Superman's a teenager and he's babysitting. That'd be great.
Next is Batman number 32, Zero Year. It's written by Scott Snyder with art by Greg Capullo and Danny Mickey, colors by FCO.
This is your pick of the week.
It is not my pick of the week.
No!
Nice try, though. Your streak is over.
It was really good, though.
It was awesome.
Really good.
I think I like last month's issue more, but this one is finally Batman dealing with the Riddler and figuring out exactly where he is in Gotham.
Mm-hmm. Which is so smart. Batman uses his detective skills. We're coming to the end of this arc. We have probably one more book after this.
Yeah, I think one more issue.
And it's over. If you haven't picked it up from now, though, I'd still say you could pick up this book and follow along.
Really?
I think so.
I know the trade is out. I would highly recommend getting the trade first because they do put some stuff in here that has to deal with his example for using the number 0 for that question that he had in classroom in the last Batman issue, where Batman was stumped. Bruce Wayne, well, not really stumped, but he didn't want to show off that he didn't know the answer to this, and they kind of play more into that with this, with the Riddler and the story that he told in the previous issue. So I do feel like you probably can't jump in at this point.
I think you can jump in.
But yeah, not my pick of the week.
It should have been. You were talking about the colors in this one, though.
Yeah, the colors in this, if you look at the skies and even the reflections every time Batman is getting shot at or anything, I mean, this is some of the most beautiful colors that you will see in a comic book. So I would recommend picking this up just for that, if anything, for the colors and the art. It is a $3.99 book, absolutely worth it.
Next, we have Batman Beyond Universe, number 11, written by Kyle Higgins and Christos Gage, with art by Tony Silas, Dexter Soy, and Trevor McCarthy, and colors by Emilio Lopez and Veronica Gandini.
This jumps between the Justice Lords and the Batman Beyond issues. Remember, this is a digital first comic book, and then they bring it out to print. And it's you get more story, I think, if you wait for the print version. Mm-hmm. But you do kind of lose some of that like shock, because at the very end of this first arc, there's a death in it. But then when you continue reading, it's like, oh, okay, so it was this. And it is $5.99. I'm sorry, $3.99. But you do get a ton of story in it.
Ton of great story.
Yeah, they really build upon where Wonder Woman was during the animated series with Batman Beyond, who exactly this new Zod is, which is awesome, and then where the Justice Lords were during this entire time.
So good. Like you said, that first thing with the death, I went, whoa! My head just exploded, and I was running through all these crazy things happening, and then more crazy things happened. And for me, this is really cool because I love, love, love the idea of the Justice Lords. I love what they did building upon this. They're telling a great story. There's love everywhere. Everybody's in love with everybody.
And I can't wait for the next issue, because he will show both Batman Beyond and Bruce Batman will show Justice Lord Superman that the Batmen are not as weak as his universe. The real Batman will kick his fucking ass.
Yeah, that thing right there that I'm pointing at, fucking awesome. I'm not telling you guys, because you got to read it yourself. But so smart. Amazing.
Batman Beyond Universe number 11.
Hopefully he doesn't end up with cancer.
Hopefully not. The next issue is Harley Quinn number 0, Director's Cut. It's written by Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti with several artists. This was a collaboration originally when it released. The artists are Amanda Conner, Walter Simonson, Tony S. Daniel, Jim Lee, Jeremy Roberts, Chad Hardin, who is the main artist on the series, Darwin Cook, Art Baltazar, Adam Hughes, Bruce Timm, and Charlie Adlard.
So this is a reprint of the Harley Quinn number 0. It is the director's cut because with each page you have notes from Amanda, Jimmy, and the artist who did the page, kind of talking about how they came to do the page, their thoughts on it, etc.
Yeah, you learn so much about the process behind making a book like this, the idea of what this issue was originally, too. If you guys haven't picked up Harley Quinn number 0, absolutely do if you can find it. If not, get it digitally or get this director's copy, because it is a book telling, it's kind of breaking the fourth wall, but with each page, it's a brand new artist with the same writers, though. And a lot of times they'll make fun of both Amanda and Jimmy, including themselves through their own writing. And if anything, the art is great. Bruce Timm drawing Harley again. Worth it alone right there.
Drew her naked, guys. Throwing that out there.
This also includes the talent search pages for the finalists for the final page. Originally, they had a script written out, just a little page, and several artists can throw in their art and be featured as one of the pages on the original number 0. If you guys remember, we talked about this controversy. The final panel shows Harley Quinn in a bathtub about to kill herself using a bunch of plugged-in appliances. And people were saying that Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner were sexualizing suicide. We had our opinions on it. We obviously didn't agree with that because everyone didn't understand that this was Looney Tunes humor. And when you pick up the book, guess what it ended up being? Looney Tunes fucking humor. So everyone blew it out of proportion. At the end of the day, I think it was good because it got them sales, and we also got to see the final pages. They are included in here, including the final panel for the winning artist, where it does show Harley Quinn in the bathtub about to off herself with appliances. In the contest of the page and the book, it's hilarious.
That was really cool to see. My page was not featured in here. I don't know why, because I worked really hard, and that was a really good page.
It was a great page.
If anything, pick up this book just to read the stuff from the writers. I didn't read them all. I picked the artists that I really liked. My favorite was Adam Hughes, and I'll just talk about it for a little bit because this story was worth the price of the book. So all these other artists are going on about how they got their ideas and how they came to know Jimmy and Amanda and got to write this book and why they like drawing those pages, da-da-da-da. You get to Adam Hughes. And you think it's going to be that. But it's just 2 paragraphs about how he killed a hobo on the turnpike. And Jimmy Palmiotti helped him bury the body. And that's why he worked on this page. Great story. I was giggling and kicking my feet. Worth the price of the book. Next is Justice League number 31, written by Jeff Johns, with art by Ivan Reis and Danny Mickey, and colors by Rod Reis. Is this your pick of the week?
This is not my pick of the week.
Damn it!
It was really good, though. This is more of Lex Luthor trying to play himself into the Justice League team. Batman, of course, doesn't want him on there. A lot of the other team members don't want him on there either. And I felt like they weren't on the same playing field. Batman definitely wouldn't have given Lex the advantage that he does get in this issue.
Agreed.
So that's one of the things I was kind of like iffy on. But I did enjoy that Batman does threaten Lex through a story about the Scorpion and the frog, right?
I loved Alfred in this one.
Alfred was a badass.
Alfred's a fucking badass.
He's not afraid of Lex. Neither is Batman, and Lex finds that out very quickly.
Great. I do agree with you, though. I don't think Batman would have given up that advantage. I understand it's what's needed to move the plot forward, though. So, I'll let it slide.
The other part that I did enjoy, too, of this book is the Shazam page between Shazam and Cyborg.
I love Shazam.
Like, Jeff Johns must have so much fun writing this character, and you can see it on that page and the interaction. So I just can't wait to see more of him.
If the Shazam movie is like Shazam is in this comic, it'll be a fan-fucking-tastic movie.
And you also have the new Power Ring make her debut, like her official costume debut in this book. And you know she's going to be featured in the arc that's currently going on. So that's pretty interesting. What do you think about the new Power Ring?
We'll see. She's got an okay background. I understand why they had to make her the way they did. Hopefully they'll make her a little bit more interesting. Because right now I'm just like, oh, great, sob story. Like, sorry you're scared.
Big deal, right.
Yeah, exactly. This is your pick of the week.
It is.
Yes, finally got it right first try.
Sinestro number 3, written by Cullen Bunn, with art by Dale Eaglesham, and colors by Jason Wright. Love this issue. Really enjoyed it.
It was very good. We get to see some more character development with him and his daughter. We get to see the plot progress. You picked up a love story. I didn't even pick up that love story. So you must really like Sinestro to pick this up.
My favorite line in this is when he's referring to one of his own people, one of the slaves that he helped save. He says, "What is your name, woman?" Like, that's just so funny. It's like when you read Sinestro in this book, it's exactly how Jeff Johns would have written him. And it fits with everything he wrote. It fits with our perception of Sinestro from the 9 years that Jeff Johns was writing him. And I feel like it picks up very smoothly. We initially didn't know where the story would have gone when we didn't read number 1. Like, how are they going to give him enough motivation to carry his own book? You see that here.
He started out half naked in the first one, so that was all we needed.
That's true.
And his little wrappings, fighting tigers.
So here he's continuing to save his people, and we have our first villains introduced, and you kind of see how everyone's going to be teaming up very quickly, and how relationships are going to be formed and healed because of this greater threat. I think it's really interesting, and I love it. Sinestro number 3, my pick of the week.
And that will actually do it for our podcast this week. Just to reiterate, my pick of the week was Saga number 20, and so was Dan's.
And by that you mean Sinestro number 3.
I mean Saga number 20 because that was a great book.
Yep, my pick of the week out of the indie books. So, don't forget to check out our other great shows at nerdupmedia.com. And if you haven't gotten your tickets yet for MetroCon, you can get those at metroconventions.com. Or you can go ahead and try to win free tickets. Again, the question of the week, which guest are you most excited to see at MetroCon? Let us know on Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke or on Facebook, facebook.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke.
But make sure you like or follow us if you're going to answer. If you do not, you will not win because we're just jerks like that.
But also,
being oppressive.
Make sure to leave us a review on iTunes. It helps other people find us and moves us up a little bit higher on that chart.
And we are also up on Stitcher. Search The Reasons I'm Broke. You can listen to us straight through your Android device.
But you can find the link to all of these places at nerdupmedia.com. While you're there, go ahead and check out our other great shows at the Nerd Up Media Network.
And finally, Dan lost a bet this week, so whatever I win, let us know. Somebody's going to say something.
Probably.
You don't believe it, but I would like him to do the laundry this week, so...
We've got awesome Brocat listeners. At least one of them will let us know, and be kind.
No, don't. I won. I rarely win things. But thank you guys so much for listening to us. I'm Kelli.
And I'm Daniel.
We'll see you next week.